Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Put to Practice Cooking. Today we are going to be making Runzas. Likely most of you don't know what that is. I wouldn't blame you. It's kind of a Nebraska dish there, and pretty much the surrounding states there would know what that is. Essentially, it's a hot pocket. We're going to be making a homemade sweet dough, and then in the middle of it, we're going to be putting some Velveeta cheese, and then a beef mixture with some onions, some garlic, some other stuff. I'm putting in mushrooms because the recipe I got from my grandma says that mushrooms could be added. Never had it with mushrooms, so I thought it would be pretty good. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started with the filling. All right, so we are back. So first off, what we're going to be doing is I already put some oil in there. We're going to put a little bit of some minced garlic in there. Oh gosh. Oh, I put a lot more, and also you got some garlic juices, so hopefully that's good. We'll make sure this is cooking, then we'll get to the onions, and we'll move to the mushrooms, and then lastly the meat and all that. All right, so next we're going to be adding the onions. I also forgot we're also adding cabbage, so I have that already done over there. Okay, starting to get there, so I'm going to start adding the mushrooms. Okay, so that looks good to me. It's just starting to caramelize, so we're going to stuff our 3 pounds of meat in there. Fortunately, it didn't look pretty coming out, but, you know, it'll look good once it's all cooked. Okay, that's about ready. So now we're going to pour in our cabbage. You know, it's Angel coleslaw, but it's already pre-cut cabbage, so. All right, so we are all finished now for the topping. We're going to let that cool down and whatnot. Next part we're going to be doing is for the dough. I'm going to skip ahead to right before we get started because one part of it we're going to have to cook the milk until it's bubbly and melts the shortening we're going to be using. So I'm going to do that off camera so we can just go ahead and get started immediately with the dough. So I will see you in a second. All right, so we are back. So we got our 2 eggs in here. We got our shortening and milk cooked in, warmed up in there. We got a half cup of boiling water. Here's all our dry stuff: our salt, our flour, and our sugar, and then also our fast-acting yeast. Make sure you grab that, otherwise it will likely not work. Did have an accident last time I made this and had to throw the whole batch out. So make sure it's fast-acting. So we're going to put in our water. Then our shortening and milk. Okay. And let that stir a little bit with our dough hook. Nothing too major, we just want to make sure it's all incorporated. Okay, so now, as per usual with like stuff like this, we're going to be putting this in stages. Mix it, put some in, rinse and repeat, just do it until it's all good. And then we're waiting for a the dough will look a bit differently than normal. It will look kind of almost like you failed it, but it actually is perfect. I'll show you what I mean once we get there, but let's just pour our first batch of it in first. All right, so we have our dough. Just to show you off. So as I said, it looks a bit weird, but it's how it's supposed to be. So now what we'll do, as you might have saw a little bit in time lapse, I oiled this with just some vegetable oil, so it can easily get off of it. So we're going to let that breaks off. Okay, so now we're going to pour this right in here. All right, so what we're going to do is put this towel on top, and we're going to let it rest until it gets to about double the size. If it's not growing at all, a couple things that might have happened. Either the yeast got killed or it's not warm enough. The latter you can fix by putting it into a pot of some shape and put some warm water in there and like just make sure it's warm, not boiling, and then it should help warm it up a bit. So I will get back once we get there, and we'll be able to make our Runza dough. So see you in a sec. All right, so we are back. We do have our dough. It definitely has risen quite a bit. I think it was about like 20 to 30 minutes-ish for me, so yeah, pretty good. So let's get all this out. I will say, no matter how much you like food, all the dishes you definitely accumulate after making all this, definitely not that fun. All right, so we got our dough right here. Now we're gonna squish it down to about 1/4 thickness. Different when I'm going to actually listen to it. If you saw my cookie video, I kind of made them way too thick. So. Alright, so now I'm gonna cut this so it's about somewhat of a rectangle-like shape. So let me cut off all this excess for the time being. Alright, obviously we'll still use the other ones, but now we got that. So now we're going to get about what we're going to be using. So we're going to do with about this, kind of what we're going to be looking for. So here's what we got. So first off, on each one, we're going to do 1 slice of Velveeta cheese. If you don't like cheese, you can always just leave it out. Up to you. And you want to make sure to do it this way because once we make our once we turn into the piece that we're going to be eating, they're going to be flipped over. So if you do it the other way around, then it will not it will kind of ooze out of the thing. You don't want that. So I'll just do these ones real quick, and so I'm going to get. Not going to say a certain amount you should use because depending on what one you have, it might be too much or too little. So in this case, I think it might be a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Okay. Now we're going to stretch over, and then you gotta make sure you get both sides stretched, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. That's why we need this certain dough, because we need it to be elastic. So crimp as much as you can with your fingers, then kind of fold it over like that. If you got any holes in it, it should be okay. You just kind of try your best to use the other half of it. So, okay, so there we go. There is our one. And when you put them on your thing, you're gonna make sure you got to give them some space because you expand still because it's still active yeast in there. So I'm gonna rinse and repeat until I have a full tray. You don't need to see the rest of it. After that point, we'll you know what, I'll explain once I get to the end. So see you after time lapse. All right, so there is our first 6 Runzas. I already have the oven set to 350, and you're going to cook it for about 15 to 20-ish minutes. Just make sure you check your oven depending on your size of them. Some of them might be done more than others. Best way to tell you know it's done is if it's just golden brown on the top. Just keep an eye on them. When I made them last time, the oven was a bit weird, so we had to cook it for about like an extra I think we had it at 15, maybe another 5 or 6 minutes on top of that. So we have to just play by ear. So I'll see you at the taste test while I finish making the remainder of the dough. So see you then. All right, so here is our Runzas. Oh, Runza, since I'm only eating one. So got some cooking right now and got some still left over. So with these, you can just eat them by themselves, but just like you would with a burger or whatever, you can kind of top it with what you want. Typically, you eat it with ketchup, but you can barbecue sauce or whatever you kind of want. So let's see how this is. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, that's so good. Just as good as I've had them before. One thing that my recipe originally called for is a Crisco instead of shortening, but due to a mistake, I couldn't find Crisco and I used shortening instead. It actually makes this way more closer to the ones you get at the Runza restaurants they have in Nebraska, so I definitely call it a win. Mushrooms are definitely a good addition, but maybe if I had like more fresh ones or the frozen ones, maybe I would taste a bit more, but I still think it's delicious. So yep, I made about 15 with the batch that we did. So definitely got a lot of food, and these keep really well. Just freeze them, and then you can just either put them in the oven to cook them back up, or you can put them in the microwave. Same kind of thing you would do with a regular hot pocket. So yeah, hope you have a good rest of your day, and hope your Runzas turn as good as mine. Thank you.